I've used it mainly with Part 2 students. Because the marks for this year haven't been uploaded yet, when I saw them for the first tutorial of the term, we reviewed their Part 1 marks and we identified patterns together. And we thought about target setting for Part 2 and going into Part 3. And that was a brilliant tool to use. I have a couple of very ambitious students, which is great, but I think if they'd been left to their own devices, they would have set the target much too high and they would have felt that they were underperforming all year. But because they did it with me, then we could work out a realistic target to aim for and we can move upwards. But what that target setting does, and it's an optional tool, they don't have to use it, but I think what it can do is it gives them a good sense of their progress. And if they're failing to meet that target or just underperforming a little, they can come and see me and we can talk about remedies. So think about study advice or any extra help that we can give in our school, in our department. So I think it keeps the student very firmly focused and focused on progress, and it helps them keep moving forward. Well, there is a lot of information already there. So I have been using the attendance registers and the submodular marks, and they're great. They give me really drilled down information. But what the dashboard does is it gives me kind of like a snapshot, a visual idea of how the student is performing. So it's kind of like, it's a one shop really. I can go to the one place and I can get all the information I need. And it's very understandable because it's visually represented. I can understand it, the student can understand it. So I'm not going between places to find the information that I need. The other thing it helps me to do is to identify very quickly and very easily and very accurately any consistent problems that a student might be having. So if the marks are much lower than I would expect to see for that student, if I know them and I know their usual work, their usual standard, it's a trigger to make me have a look in other places where I might be able to find out why all these marks are lower than I would have expected. And I might have done that without the dashboard, but the dashboard gives me that very clear visual trigger to go searching elsewhere.
I think there's some innovative features that are included as part of the dashboard. One of them is the tabular version of assessment types, because it will allow both tutors and students to have a conversation about support and preparation around the types of assessment, especially if it is exams or if it is coursework. But I particularly like the tabs around feedback and support that is available for students across the university, because it shows that there is a lot of support around to help them prepare and reach their potential. I also find exciting the fact that the dashboard can provide an opportunity for students to get active engagement with data that is stored about them. And I can see that they can be transferable impact about the way they use and communicate and share data in everyday life experiences and apps. The first two tabs on the dashboard focus on data, and that can be a starting point for having meaningful conversations around learning.